So the topic for today is ETL using Informatica PowerCenter. Now, why actually are we going for this particular topic? So thing is like, Informatica is a data integration company, and it provides us a brilliant ETL tool, which is PowerCenter, and which is basically, very easy for all persons to learn and to work on the ETL projects. Now, for all the sessions, we'll have some objectives, right? So for this particular session, we'll be taking you through this particular agenda. The first thing is about information economy. Here, we'll basically discuss about that information integration part and what are the things that are basically delaying or creating obstruction for information integration. And then how ETL can help us and to get a kind of to overcome those constraints, and then why ETL is still so relevant. After we complete that, we'll be talking about talking about Informatica and a bit of overview about the Informatica, and then we'll move to something like the platform that Informatica is offering for different data integration projects, and then we'll see that why do we need to learn Informatica. The vastness of the usage of this tool across countries, across companies, actually, gives us an indication that, Informatica ETL tool is being used heavily in data integration projects. And then we'll have a look at the slides where we'll see different partners and customers for Informatica. And then we'll discuss a bit about Informatica architecture and different components. And then I'll take you to two use cases. First thing is about loading a dimension table using slowly changing dimension, and the use case 2 will be a bit populate sales summary table using incremental aggregation. So before I go to the use cases, I'll discuss a bit about this, the slowly changing dimension as well as the incremental aggregation. Then we'll wrap up the course showing you about the job trends and the scope of this particular course. So now moving on to that next slide. Now, as I was saying that, that information economy. So at the lower portion of the slide, you will see there we have mentioned, cloud computing, applications, databases, unstructured data, and the partner data. Right. So these are the applications, and these are the different systems companies are using today to run their business. So they may be using the cloud computing, they may be using different ERP applications, they may be storing the data and using some custom applications to store the data in different databases. Companies are handling unstructured data, and there are the partner data of specific format, like Swift data, NACHA, HIPAA. They have got in specific format and specific security standards following. Now, above that yellow and black bar, we'll see a lot of the business jargons, improved decisions, modernized business, like that. Now, what are these basically? So, companies which are operating in this particular, using this particular systems, either cloud computing, applications, databases, unstructured data, and the partner data, right? So, to be relevant in this current market scenario, they should have these activities in place, like they should have the improved decisions, they should have the modernized business, they should have improved efficiency, and there will be mergers and acquisitions. A lot of companies are buying the companies, so in those cases we need to consolidate their data. The parent company which is buying that companies, they should integrate the data seamlessly with the companies they are buying actually. Now, there will be challenges in acquiring and retaining the customers for telecom companies mostly. Then there will be outsourcing for non-core business. There will be governance, risk compliance, just like the HIPAA and those stuff. Then we'll have increased partner network efficiency and increased business agility. So all these activities are governed, all they are driven by basically that 5 terms that mentioned over there: the globalization, the consolidation, the growth, operational efficiency, and the governance. So what is the problem basically? The problem is basically the yellow and the black bar. So problem is integrating the data from all these applications to create a uniform data store, so that it helps, the data store helps us to decide on that business, the KPIs and the metrics on a real-time basis, or based on the latency set by the business, right? So that is where Informatica is helping us. So now next thing is about the ETL part. So if we have data in all these systems, like maybe in the cloud, maybe in the application, maybe in the database, then how is it possible to load the data, or to build a uniform data service line, or you can say that uniform data store? So ETL is going to help us over there. Now ETL, I think, as you all know, it stands for extraction, transformation, and load. Now extraction is basically, it represents the ability to consistently and reliably extract data with high performance and minimal impact to the source system. So whenever we are extracting the data, so there is bound, the source system from which we are extracting data is bound to have some load on it. So we should make sure that there is minimum impact to the source system. And then the T represents the ability to transform one or more data sets in batch or real time into a consumable format, right? And the L stands for the loading into the persistent or a virtual data store. Now this particular ETL is the most challenging, costly, and time consuming step towards building any type of data warehouse or data integration solutions. Now, the step usually determines the success or the failure of a data warehouse, because any analysis lays a lot of importance on the data and the quality of the data that is being analyzed. So if you translate IT analytics professions into the Hollywood counterparts, analysts can be considered the stars, and the architects can be considered directors. But then where these ETL folks are going? So now, only the directors and the actors, they cannot make a movie. So in order to make a movie, you'll need all the background stuff, all the background work, like, the cameraman, the sound man, and that other relevant stuffs. So ETL persons, basically, they fill up in this IT analytics professions. ETL counterpart are basically those stuffs, right? So this is basically the most challenging part and the most relevant part of any data warehouse project. Now we have been with the advent of big data, we have been seeing that a lot of discussions are going on if big data is going to fade away the importance of ETL. So, well, I'm surprised to listen to this all this or reading through all these blogs, because ETL is it's basically a need. The data actually need to flow from source application to the analytic data store in a controlled and reliable secure manner. So ETL is the only way of doing this. Then information need to be standardized with regards to the semantics, format, lexicon for accurate analysis. So this is basically the data standardization part, right? So without ETL, we're not going to achieve it. And then operational results need to be consistent and repeatable, as well as verifiable and transparent. So we should have a single point of truth present for our entire data warehouse, and ETL is the only way to achieve that particular activity. So we may not be having we might be having the target data store in future, but the data stores where we are storing the data, that may change. The big data or the Hadoop, they may introduce several set of frameworks to store the data efficiently, or to process the data efficiently in a different cost-effective manners. But in order to bring the data into those systems and to maintain the standardization of the data, ETL is going to be needed, and it's not going to be faded. Not even kind of in a decades. Yeah. So yeah, that's a perception. Now why ETL is still so relevant? Because it facilitates the integration of the data from different data sources for building a data warehouse. Business have data in multiple databases with different codification and formats. transformations required to convert and to summarize operational data into consistent business-oriented format. Pre-computation for any derived information, summarization is also carried out to pre-compute summaries and aggregates, makes data available in a queryable format. So now, as you know, as I was talking about in a previous slides, I was talking about the different applications that a company may be using to effectively run their business. So then, when we are going to go for any analytics solution, so we should have a single place from where all the data should be sourced. That particular application should get the data from a single single data source, so that single version of truth can come out. So if a company has that different data source for the customers, right? So some of the company branches are storing the data, storing the customer data in database. Some of them are storing in the in a file format, some of them in a Excel format, some of them in a different other format, right? So in order to have a seamless integration of all the systems, we should have a uniform data store where we have standard maintained data, so that whenever we query that particular customer database or the customer master database, we can get a single version of the truth. And ETL is the way to achieve this particular activity. Now we are coming back to that Informatica, how Informatica is helping us in providing that ETL tool, and which will basically helping us in every aspects of our data integration project to make that project particularly successful. Now, a bit about Informatica. It provides the data integration software and services for various business, industries, and government organizations, including telecom, healthcare, financial, and insurance services. It's founded in 1993. As per 2002, the revenue is around 1.6 billion, and then employees around 2810. Partners are 450 partners. Then we have got customers around over 5,000 customers spread about in around 82 countries. And Informatica has got around direct presence in 28 countries. Now, how Informatica is approaching this the problem that we discussed with the information economy, right? So here we are seeing basically at the below we are seeing this cloud computing applications. These are applications that the companies are using, and then Informatica Platform is offering you a set of products, uniform, comprehensive, unified, open, and economical. Economical in the sense you can buy module wise. So whenever you buy Informatica, you do not have to buy each one of them. You can have only those products that you require, and later there is also a possibility you can get incremental license and apply to your product to if you want to increase your services, you can also do that later at a later stage of time based on your requirement by applying that delta license, right? So now Informatica Platform having everything starting from ultra messaging, complex event processing, B2B data exchange, enterprise data integration, application ILM, data quality, and master data management. And on the top of that, we also have cloud data integration as well. Now, the PowerCenter, that falls here. So in enterprise data integration, PowerCenter, that particular tool falls in here. Now, with this Informatica platform, we will be any kind of data integration projects that can be handled with this Informatica, Informatica platform. So the tools are available for that. So we'll be having tools for data warehousing projects, data migration projects, test data management and archiving, data consolidation, master data, data synchronization, complex event processing. Can you get the slides after finishing the seminar? Yeah, Avik. Yeah, definitely. So I'll be handing it over to the Edureka persons, and they will be distributing the slide. I think that there is a scope for that as well. Yeah. Yeah. So Subhrangshu, yeah, no. In this particular module, we are not covering OpenStack and Cloud Foundry. So it's mostly about Informatica's tool PowerCenter, and yeah, so these are not being covered as a part of this particular course. Yeah. And I missed a couple of questions from Sudha Anand. So as I said, I'll take a break after some time, and then I'll go through all the questions, and I'll try to answer each one of them. Yeah. So now, yeah. So with these all set of projects, Informatica is having some tool to help you out. The thing that I was already saying, so there are a wide range of products available under the Informatica product suite that helps satisfy the data integration requirements within the enterprise and beyond. So we have got a tool for data integration and ETL, information lifecycle management, complex event processing, data masking, data quality, data replication, data virtualization, master data management, and ultra messaging. So as of now, the official version for Informatica PowerCenter is 9.6, and this component form a toolset for establishing and maintaining enterprise-wide data warehouses. So as of now, the current version for Informatica is 9.6. Now here actually we are trying to show you how Informatica products and their functionalities, they actually, is there in advanced concepts, Informatica advanced concept to be covered? Yeah, so Muthu, this particular webinar is regarding the basics of Informatica ETL and Informatica, ETL using the Informatica PowerCenter. So we'll be covering what are that, the basic topics. But in the course, we do have the Informatica advanced concepts, starting from your advanced transformation, performance tuning, the partitioning concept, the push-down optimization concepts, the best practices, methodologies, administration, troubleshooting, and different ETL scenarios to be covered. Yeah. No, Krupa Shankar, no, we are not going to cover here the MDM and the data quality concepts as well. Prasant, yeah, I will take your question later when I will take a break, right? But to answer your question, ETL test engineer, that depends on the which ETL tool you are going to work with, and if that is Informatica, the development part, if you know, that will be good for you. Yeah, so continuing to that session, now we have got the products that we have been discussing. We have got the cloud data integration, application ILM, B2B data integration, master data management, complex event processing, data quality, and here we actually tried to mention all the social data, all the social networking sites from where actually Informatica is also able to fetch the data and perform the analysis on those particular data. So we have connectors for the Hadoop, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the mobile data as well. So and we have got that enterprise data integration is the heart of it. So it is basically the PowerCenter tool for Informatica is able to get data from around any kind of sources. So there are a lot of number of sources for which the connectors or the drivers are available for Informatica to get the data from there. And it had got the part by the partners. I'm trying to meaning over here is about the different standardized format data, just like the Swift, the HIPAA, the persons who are acquainted with that healthcare business. So they must be knowing about the HIPAA. Okay. So they must be knowing about that HIPAA. So Informatica has got that source connector available for HIPAA data as well, right? So and this is basically the way Informatica Platform will help you to any kind of to achieve any kind of to achieve success in any kind of data integration projects. Now the questions that why Informatica, why not any other tool, right? So now here actually we are not going to compare it with any other tool, but Informatica has been in the topmost Gartner place for quite a few years in a row, beating all other that relevant ETL tools present in the market, whether it be the data stage, the Synopsys from Oracle, the ODI, which we call it now, and the open source tool available, right? The Penta, Hotel, and D, like that. So and Informatica is being used heavily for the customers, for the Fortune 500 customers. Yeah. So my thing is like, it has got, the proven technology leadership, a track record of continuous innovation. That is the reason, as I shown you, it has got around 5,000 plus customers throughout the world, and the most neutral, trusted partner. So this part is, this part is very, very, very important over here. Informatica, the sole purpose or the sole aim for Informatica is to to help you in your data integration solution. The singular focus for Informatica is the data integration, and it is the most neutral, trusted partner available for any kind of data sources, right? Because what you see, if you consider that Synopsys, Oracle Synopsys, the ODI, this is more inclined, and this works well when you have got, the source and target as Oracle, right? Similarly, SAP has got data compression. Yeah. So I will take up your question. I'll take up your questions later, Subhangshu and Anand. Yeah. So yeah, what I was discussing, the ODI, it's most suitable for the for the environment where we have, Oracle as a source or Oracle as a target. And then similarly, SAP has got a, ETL tool, SAP BODI, which also favors, the SAP data integration. But Informatica is the only product which is available for any kind of sources and any kind of targets, mostly, being used by the business to conduct their business. So Informatica is also a tool which is certified by SAP to extract and push data into SAP. And it has got a long history for customer successes. Now, this particular figure is trying to show you that what are the recent, what are the continuous innovations that Informatica has performed. So now we are on year-by-year basis. And 2008 we have got 8.6.1 Cloud Sync. Then we have got Application ILM, and going down. Going up to that 2010, Informatica has introduced a marketplace where Informatica is providing, the templates for its different products, so that people who are using Informatica and having access to the Informatica marketplace can download those templates and use those best practices in their particular project, right? Then we have got MDM, ILM, and then we have got Informatica Cloud as well. So these are the set of innovations that Informatica has been performing, solely focusing only the data integration projects. Now, as I was saying that we have got around 5,000 Informatica has got around 5,000 customers throughout the world. So I've tried to bring out some of them in front of you in this particular slide. So from the financial services and insurance, we have got Deutsche Bank. We have got Credit Suisse. From government and public sector, we have got United States Postal Service. Healthcare and life sciences, we have got BMA, Pfizer. Manufacturing, Tata. Retail and services, Borders, Best Buy. FedEx. Telecommunications, we have got BT. Transportation and distribution, we have got Delta, Air France. And utilities, we have got Duke Energy, Exelon, First Energy, etc. So now we are going to cover a bit about that flagship tool, difference between last night approach using an Informatica. Yeah, so yeah, I understand that you're having a lot of questions. I'm getting a lot of questions over here. So give me some time. After I complete this PowerCenter part, I will open up these questions and I will answer them one by one. Yeah. Now, this is basically Informatica PowerCenter is basically the flagship tool for Informatica, with which they started this ETL. The making of ETL tool. So it's a single unified enterprise data integration platform that allows companies and government organizations of all sizes to access, discover, and integrate data from virtually any business system in any format, and deliver that data throughout the enterprise at any speed. As I was saying that that connectors for Informatica, connectors for Informatica is available for any kind of sources and virtually any kind of targets. It's basically an ETL tool. The main advantages of PowerCenter over other ETL tool lies in its robustness, for it can be used in both Windows and Unix-based platforms. So for some of the ETL tools, we have got the limitations that either it can be used in a Windows tool, Windows system, or either it can be used in a Unix-based system, right? So Informatica has got the installers for any of the system, either Unix or Windows. But the client tool for the Informatica has got two components basically. The first one is the server that I'll be describing in the later slides, and the clients. Clients are available only in the Windows. Now, PowerCenter can read from a variety of different sources and write to as many as targets while transforming the data in between. The main advantage of PowerCenter over other ETL tools, hence for a reason, for its popularity over other tools, it's robust and can be used in both Windows and Unix system. It is high performing yet very simple for developing, maintaining, and administering. Yeah, so when I will show you the demonstration, you will get to know that how easy it's to build one of that complex solution for data warehouse, which we call it, and the SCD, the slowly changing dimension, and how easy is it to implement through Informatica PowerCenter graphical user interface. So now a bit about your PowerCenter architecture. Well, before I go to the PowerCenter architecture, I've been seeing that a lot of questions are being asked, so I'm trying to answer some of them. Yeah. So yeah, so Sudha has asked, can we integrate different sources in big data as we are doing in Informatica? Yeah, so Sudha, Informatica has got a big data editions where we have got source of where we have got connectors for the different big data sources like Hadoop, MongoDB, and also we are able to connect to that the data sources for the Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. So it's available for Informatica PowerCenter Big Data Edition, but that's a separate license that we'll have to buy. Now, then we have got the question from then I have answered the question for Prasant regarding the ETL testing. Can you please elaborate a bit more on data virtualization? Yeah, so Amol, data virtualization is about the federation of the federated data basically. So the concept is like instead of consolidating the data in a particular data store, or instead of building a data warehouse, we actually create an application which goes to different the data stores and build up a semantic layer of data which we have access actually. So it's not basically creating up a data warehouse kind of solution, but it's taking the data real time from the different transactional system on a need basis and creating the reports. So this is what we call the data virtualization. And how does it different and better than ETL performed using ETL? I didn't get your questions, Anand. Hanirban, is this covering big data approach also using Informatica? Vivek, I'm sorry that we are not covering the big data edition here. It's that PowerCenter, the standard edition that will be covering, and along with that, I'll also be covering some of the advanced features of the PowerCenter. Well, Anil, can you explain the difference between 9.5 and 9.6? Well, mostly architecture-wise, we don't have much of that difference, but there are certain set of extra advantages that have come into with 9.6, but we are all crossing our finger for the coming out of this Informatica version 10, and we are expecting a lot of changes in Informatica version 10 with a lot of consolidation being placed over there, right? So, but from in terms of 9.5 and 9.6, we do not have much of a difference from architecture perspective, as well as you will not find much of a difference when you'll be developing that Informatica ETL jobs on the workflow sessions, etc. And whether this tool is beneficial to address banking data challenges. Yeah, Vivek, so yeah, definitely, this tool is beneficial because a lot of banking projects I have seen are using the Informatica as their data, as a part of their data warehouse solution. So yeah, definitely. But then we need to understand that what are the challenges that are being discussed over here, right? And based on that, we'll be able to say something on that. So on a gross basis, yeah, a lot of banks and financial institutions are using this tool to overcome their the data integration challenges. What then Deepak is asking, what is the prerequisite or for learning this course? Please confirm. I want to make a career into the same. Yeah, Deepak. So thing is, like, if you have understanding about databases, SQL queries, you are done with that. So mostly, the database and the SQL queries will help you out to learn Informatica, and you'll be able to perform, moderate to complex jobs using Informatica. So yeah, that's a prerequisite. Are you going to use both structured and unstructured data as a source for the ETL demo? Krupa Shankar, no, we are only using the structured source over here, which will be sourced from our database, our Oracle table, and again the target will be our Oracle table for this demonstration purpose. And the course also is not covering any unstructured data. I mean, the integration using unstructured data. The course is also not covering that. Yeah. Yeah, Anil, 8.x and 9.x architectural difference. There are a lot of, difference. And Informatica Platform has changed from 8.x to 9.x. So, with this stipulated time, it will be tough for me to describe each and everything. But, there is a paradigm shift from 8.x to 9.x, although that the basic architectures remain same. But a lot of product consolidation took place while coming out from 8.x to 9.x. Yeah. Yeah, Surya. So CAS in Informatica is very important. Yeah. So a lot of aggregations, lookups. So they use CAS, but discussing detail about the CAS in this particular demonstration is basically beyond the scope of it. Yeah, so we'll be discussing this in the course, and we have got a separate module which will be covering the details of the CAS being used and how they are being used and what are the performance improved way of using CAS. Yeah, I understand that, Surya. It's a different type of CAS, lookup, aggregator, joiner. Okay, so Anand has got a interesting question: how it is different and better than ETL performed using SQL. Okay, so that was your question. ETL using SQL. So yeah, so code-based ETL always has challenges in managing the code basically. So people working with the code, if they get they leave the project, then it becomes tough for the persons who are joining the project to manage. It's basically coming out from the managing product. And apart from that, PowerCenter, Informatica PowerCenter has a lot of capabilities which you will have to manually implement in ETL SQL. So if you want to, if you consider, if you have idea about the data warehousing and slowly changing dimensions, so then you will be able to understand, how tough it is to implement SCD2 type of, implementation using SQL. Right, and I'll show you in this demo how easy it is to implement it using PowerCenter. So it's basically that user friendliness, as well as that a lot of people can use this particular ETL tool to perform the activity, right? But for a SQL, people need to be well acquainted with that SQL as well as that the procedural language or procedural part of the SQL. Otherwise, it will not be possible to work on any kind of ETL projects using SQL. Yeah, Omkar, we have got that parallel processing available in Informatica as well. So we have got partitioning, we have got in-memory pipeline. So yeah, that will facilitate your parallel processing. Surya, it's 9 active. Lookup transformation become active in 9. Yeah, so yeah, enough of the questions. Sunil is asking if PL SQL is must for Informatica developer. Yeah, it's not must. If you have the knowledge about SQL, it will do. As a career, as compared to analytics, should I prefer ETL DWH using Informatica or move to analytics? Yeah, Vivek, so it's your choice. So ETL DWH, ETL using ETL DWH or DWH using ETL will have vast more opportunities than analytics, because the analytics are performed by mostly the analysts, or so they are very few in number for each and every company. But for if you consider the opportunities, so DWH using ETL, they have got much more opportunity than the analytics part as of now. Abhik, no, this data quality check in the staging area or ODS is not part of the scope of this particular course as well as this webinar as well. Yeah, so Deepti, we need to know, like, under which scenario basically we're considering, will be considering this particular tool. So e-commerce startups may require, different set of activities to be performed and different set of systems to be used, right? So based on that, the necessity and based on the requirement, we can suggest on that. Well, Anand, the ETL here actually is a GUI-based tool. I'll show you the demo. So I'm currently moving out of the questions, and I will continue. With that slides, and as because we'll not have much of a time. So otherwise, I'll not be able to show you the demo. Yeah. Yeah. So PowerCenter architecture is basically a service-oriented architecture, and it can be defined as a group of services which communicate with each other. The process of communication involves either simple data passing, or it could involve 2 or more services. The aim is to provide improved performance and high availability. The approach is by re-engineering the underlying architecture as has been made even more service-based. So when we'll study Informatica PowerCenter architecture, we'll see that in between we have got this PowerCenter particular tool, right? Now PowerCenter tool has got 2 components. We have got the server component, where which we are calling it as a the services framework, and then we have got a client components, which are basically the designer, workflow manager, and the monitor, right? And we have got an administrator component as well, which manages all this and all these services that are coming, that are placed in the server, right? And then we have got the provider, which these are basically the sources that are available. These are, different sources from which the Informatica can extract the data, and these are basically the consumers, which the data which Informatica is producing, right? Now I will tell you a bit about the repository service, repository integration service, and web services a bit later in our slide. Now, as the people were asking about the parallel processing. Yeah, Subram, so I will come to your question. So, but let me finish the slides. Otherwise, I'll not be able to show you the demo, right? Then, otherwise, you will miss that kind of the most important part of it. Yeah. So, as I was saying that the parallel processing is available in Informatica, and we can use its partitioning feature, whereby it can create different threads to perform the parallelism. So we can partition the sources, we can partition the targets, and even we can partition the different transformations in between the data journey to enable the parallelism. So we can read data parallelly from that from the source systems. We can process the data parallelly, and we can write to the targets parallelly. So that is available. And then we have got pipeline parallel processing as well. So here Informatica has got the same job can run parallelly in Informatica. So we have got concurrent workflow facility, whereby we can run the same job parallelly, running at the same point of time. Yeah, so that's basically the pipeline parallel processing, whereby the provider thread, the transformation thread, and the consumer thread for each memory pipeline will be running in parallel. Now, these are the client components. We have got the repository manager, we have got the PowerCenter designer, the workflow manager, the workflow monitor, and the administration control that is basically used to administrator the the components. Now, as I was saying, that the server components of PowerCenter. So we have got repository service, we have got integration service, the BW service, and web service hub. These are optional. So that important part is that, and the urgent thing for PowerCenter, without which any PowerCenter server will not run, those are repository service and integration service. Now I'll show you about the architecture of it. So this is the most important aspect of PowerCenter. Now, how this has been architected and how this everything on the total ETL part is conceptualized and how is it working for PowerCenter, right? So PowerCenter, the heart of the PowerCenter is a domain. What is the domain? Domain is a logical segregation of logical segregation on the top of every PowerCenter server. Now, under the domain, we have got nodes. What are the nodes? Nodes are basically the server where you are installing that Informatica server. So that is basically the node. So we can have single node domain, we can have multi-node domain as well. So when we have multi-node domain, we can even form the grid, and we can even enable the high availability based on the licenses available. So these are basically license feature, the grid and the high availability. So if we can add up the license, we'll be able to use those features as well. Yeah. Now this particular domain, this is basically the Informatica server component, right? The integration service and the repository service. Now repository service, Informatica actually stores each and every metadata of it in database. So the prerequisite for installing PowerCenter would be the presence of database, specifically 2 schemas, and it's better to have those 2 schema under the same database. So we'll need one repository database and one domain metadata database. So repository database will be communicating, repository service will be communicating with the repository database to get those information out of it. So whatever we have been writing, we'll be writing. Those will be building up in terms of GUI and everything. Those will be stored in the repository database. So whenever a job will be triggered, a repository service will be communicating to the repository database to fetch all the relevant information from there and put it in the memory, and then it will try to connect the sources and the targets, first the sources, and then fetch the data from there, perform the transformation, and then push the data to the target. So that is the part of that integration service. So now these are the different connectivities that PowerCenter use in order to connect either the different client components or the sources or the targets. Now about this domain and nodes, the domain is a logical collection or a set of nodes and services. The PowerCenter domain is a fundamental administrative unit of PowerCenter. So above the domain there is nothing. So everything that comes for PowerCenter or the Informatica is under this particular domain. So if I just excuse me, I'm showing you that particular, yeah, just a moment. So this is basically the administration console that I have been discussing this time actually. So once you log in, it's taking a bit time. Yeah. So here we are seeing that we have got a domain underscore SVR ORCL info line. So this is basically the main administrative unit for it, right? And under this particular domain, we have got a node. This is the node name, right? This is the machine where it has been installed. Now for this particular node, we have got 2 services. One is the repository service and one is the integration service. And for each of the service, we'll need a license. So that is what we have mentioned over there. That is the Oracle license available. So if the license Informatica activates its service based on this particular license, and we have the feature for include the Delta licenses as well. Suppose currently we are only in the need for ETL work, right? So we can buy only that PowerCenter standard license. Later we have got the requirement for the data quality checks as well, right? Then we can again go for the Delta license and again enable that IDQ, the services and that respective clients of it. So Informatica provides you everything in the software, but it's the license that restricts you to use those services. Yeah. So now, as I was saying, that domain is a logical collection of set of nodes and services. And domain can be a single PowerCenter installation, or it can consist of multiple PowerCenter installations as well. So the salient features of a node are as follows. A node is a logical representation of physical machine. It has a physical attributes such as a host name and a port number. Each node runs a service manager, which is responsible for the application and core services. A node can be a gateway node or a worker node, but it can belong to only one domain. So as I was saying, that we can have a single node domain or we can have a multi-node domain. So if that's a single node domain, that particular node will be called as a gateway node only. We do not have a worker node there. But when it comes to a multi-node domain, we'll have one gateway node which will be communicating with the domain, and there will be multiple worker nodes which will communicate with the gateway node in order to run the services. Now, a service is basically a resource that provides specialized functions. All PowerCenter processes run as service on a node. PowerCenter has two types of services. It's application service that I discussed, repository and integration service, and there are core services which are not visible from this administration console, but they are working in the background to facilitate a lot of other activities being performed during that carrying over of this ETL activities. Those are like the log service, the licensing service, the domain service. These are the kind of the critical part of it. The log service basically enables us to see the different types of logs that PowerCenter or the Informatica as a whole is producing during the set of activities. Now, this is important, the component-based development technique. So this is basically what that gives the ETL tools an edge over the SQL tools. The components, here we have got pre-built components available to work on that. What are those? Those are called the transformations. Like we have got filter transformation. Filter transformation used to filter the data. We have got rank transformation. Rank transformation is used to produce the rank. We have got aggregated transformation. We have got expression transformation. A lot of other transformations. So these are pre-built components that have been placed in the Informatica. So that will help you to build up your data pipeline to bring the data from the source and put it in the target. Now, again, the advantages are, as the functional units are already built, like you don't have to think about how to filter the data. You just have to provide a particular condition in the condition tab of it, and you are done with that. Now we don't have to provide you, you don't have to think about the logic of aggregations. What are the things? What will the group by part? What will be, your what will be your other that things that based on which you will be aggregating, right? So in the tool you will have that facility to provide the group by part, and whatever the things that you want out of it, either the max of it or the sum of it or the count of it. So those things can be done using just a click only. The developer, as the functional units are already built, the developer need not build them from scratch and can instead use them directly. This approach makes bug fixing easier as well as aid in various maintenance activities with only the malfunction components needing to be fixed. Reusability is another factor that works in favor of component-based development tool. So we can use the same components when in our different needs. Now, this is basically the hierarchy of that Informatica development, right? So we have got, as a unit, we have got the transformations, and a mapping is built using a setup transformation, and then we have got the sessions, which is basically considering one mapping to execute it, and then on the top of the sessions we have got the workflow. Workflow is basically to arrange the sessions and put some conditions on it. Right. Suppose we have got a scenario where we want to load a particular table A, and based on the success of that particular activity, we want to load another table B. Right. So this kind of scenario can be covered using this particular this hierarchy. So whatever mentioned in the sessions and whatever mentioned, all the mapping properties and the connectivities are mentioned in the sessions, and session-related activities, session-related configurations are maintained in that workflows. So I'll show you the demo that how this transformation, mapping, sessions, and workflow, they come together and put a ETL job in place. Yeah. Now, Informatica PowerCenter, where can we use basically this Informatica PowerCenter? Informatica PowerCenter as a DI solution, data integration solution. So we can use it as a data integration solution where we have got different systems to connect. Right here we have got marketing database Oracle, we have got inventory database SQL Server, we have got billing in Sybase, we have got sales in Salesforce application, and Informatica is able to communicate to each of them and get your desired solution, get your desired data from these applications to build up your data warehouse or your data integration solution. Then we can use it in a data migration solution as well. A company purchases a new account payable solutions, so then it needs to migrate all its data from its new account solution, new accounting solution to your from your old accounting solution to your new accounting solution. Informatica can help you there. Then there are application integration as well. So Informatica can help you in integrating the applications. Like company A purchases company B, so the billing softwares they need to be integrated. Informatica can help you out with that, because Informatica got a lot of connectors for this custom built billing softwares, or the custom built the ERP solutions or custom built solutions basically. So it can also help you in that. Right, in the data warehousing, definitely, yeah, data warehousing ETL is an integral part of it. So Informatica is going to help you out in getting the data from disparate sources and even putting the data in your data warehouse. And Informatica is being used as a middleware as well. So there will be projects, you will see that the ERP tools are directly connected with Informatica, and Informatica is getting the data from the ERP tools and even pushing the data from ERP tools. So I've got a privilege of working in such a scenario where Informatica is taking the data from SAP in the form of iDocs or the SAP tables, and then processing the data in between of it, and again then pushing the iDocs into the SAP systems. So yeah, so Informatica can be used as a middleware as well. So these are the different use cases where Informatica can be used, and Informatica has the connectors for available to help you out with this set of for this set of activities. Yeah, then some of the unique features of the Informatica. As I shown you, single administration console to administrator, unified users, group privileges, and role admin across the PowerCenter Advanced Edition tools. So we have got administration tools basically. So we have got the concept of users, groups, and privileges, just like that's available in Oracle, to provide the restricted access or provide the concerned access to the concerned persons, right? So that is available. Then we have got single sign-on for all client tools. So if you log into a single client tool, you don't have to again log into the other client tools available. So if you just click on the tool, it will be automatically logged in and you will be taken to the desired folder. Informatica tool has got inbuilt version control tool in it. Yeah, so you don't have to buy a different version control solution for that. So Informatica is that particular thing is available within Informatica, and this grid and high availability, that's a license feature, but that is also available. And inbuilt scheduling tool, Informatica also got a scheduling tool available under its workflow manager, and you can schedule the jobs from Informatica itself. Now it's a time for the demo. Yeah, so I'm going to show you this particular demo, loading the product dimension table using slowly changing dimensions. So before I go to the demo, let me discuss a bit about your the SCD. So are you guys aware of this SCD term? So SCD is basically the slowly changing dimensions in data warehouse, where basically we keep history. So I'm giving a brief of it. Yeah, Deepthi, that's fine. So I'm giving a brief of it for the benefit of others. Now SCD is basically a way of preserving the history in our dimension tables. So in data warehouse, the data warehouse, we study or we analyze the historical data, right? Historical data needs to be stored. Now the dimension tables where we are dimension of fact tables where we are storing historical data, mostly the dimension table. There are three types of type 0 slow dimension. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Vic. Yeah, you're correct on it. Yeah. So mostly the dimension tables, what I will be showing over here is how we are maintaining the history, and how basically it's not about maintaining the history, it's about how easily we can build up a SCD solution. The SCD solution that I'll show you, that is basically SCD2 solution using start date or end date for that particular format, right? So now this is basically okay. Now this is basically our the source system. Yeah, so it's a customer source system whereby we have got the customer number, name, city, state, and country. So the SCD2 is basically, the preserving the data, preserving the historical data. How we are preserving it? Suppose, we have got this particular Malcolm, that particular person who is currently staying in city Baltimore and state WI and country is US. Right now, all this information on the first run will go to that customer dimension table, but later, when again the source will come and will have a different identity for Malcolm, like the city might have changed, the state might have changed, the country might have changed, right? So that information also need to be present in that particular the target dimension table, right? Otherwise we'll not be able to understand that when during that particular time when Malcolm was there in the state of WI and country US, whatever he has performed the activity, maybe a sales, some sales he has performed, something he has bought from some the retail shop, those particular thing will not come into the feature if we do not maintain the history in that dimension tables, right? So this particular solution will show you that how easily we can build a SCD solution using Informatica to build up this application, to build up this the SCD target tables, right? So now we have got a target table here. I have executed it once, so you will see that target table. Yeah, so this is our dimension table where we have got the dimension key, the surrogate key. I think people having a bit of acquaintance with the data warehouse, they understand what the important of the surrogate key. Then we have got the customer number, name, city, and country, and we have got the start date and end date. So once I have changed it for Malcolm while testing this particular activity. So Malcolm was earlier in the state of MD from January 90 to the end date was 20th May. So today actually we executed this particular workflow, and then the end date has become to 20th May 2015, right? And the start date for the next record has started from 21st May 2015. Now what I will do, I'll show this particular workflow, that particular mapping that we have created for this. Yeah, now the couple of things that we covered here. So the version control tool I was talking about, right? Now see here, if we have versioning enabled Informatica repository, if we have versioning enabled PowerCenter repository, then this versioning feature will come into here. So everything, every object of it, either source, target, mapping, session, workflow, maplet, worklet, everything can be put into that version control feature. So when you click on any of the objects, it will show you a menu called versioning, right? Here you will see that checkout and view history. So if you go to the view history, you'll be able to see that what are that activities that have been performed here. So it's just a single activity that has been performed. It has been checked in. Then after that, it was checked in, and the username was the person who used is administrator, and the host is from where actually it has been used, right? So now these particular applications, this repository manager, designer, workflow manager, and that monitor, these are the client applications for Informatica. This is the designer application where we design the mappings. So we bring in the sources here. We can have the facility of importing it from database. We can have the facility importing file, COBOL file, XML definitions, and we have got it. We can do it from PeopleSoft, and with that different connectors available for PowerCenter, we can even get a lot of other sources available from here, right? So now once we create the source, we'll have to create the target as well. Now these are the different, the same thing. These are the different targets available for Informatica that we can create, and we can push the data to different disparate systems as well, right? So once we create the source and target, we'll have to create, we'll start creating the mapping. So in the mapping designer will help, the mapping designer will help you to create the mappings. I'll be using that effective date basically. So start date and end date, right? Yeah, versioning and flag, those are also feature for implementing the SCD2 as well, and this is also a feature that what I'll be showing you here. So continuing to that, the mapping designer, this is a particular place where you will have to build up your mapping, just like I build this SCD2, right? This particular mapping. So we have brought in there, SCD customer, that particular source, and along the source it comes a SQL, the source qualifier. So this is basically where it changes the data types basically to make it in the form of Informatica, and we have the facility of providing our custom queries in here as well, right? Then once we brought in the source, we are performing we are going through a expression to see any format changes are required, and after that actually we are looking at the customer. We are looking at the customer in the target table, right? In the target table, what we are looking based on the customer number. If that customer is present over there, then we are basically tracking the changes. So if these previous customers, they are coming out from this lookup, and these current customers, they are coming out from the source. So we are here matching in this particular port. We are matching if customer dim key equals to 1, if is null customer dim key. If customer dim key is not available in the target, then it will be insert. Then if this is available, then we'll have to see if anything of has been changed or not. If something has been changed, then we'll have to update it. Otherwise, we don't have to do anything, right? Yeah, so that's a part of it. And once that is done, yeah, then we are basically preparing using this router. We are sending it two different expressions. One is for the insert. The data which will be inserted will be going to the insert expression. See, for the insert, if the flag is 1 or flag is 2, then we'll be inserting it, and update if flag 2 is still true, then we'll be updating, right? So if this data goes to the expression insert, it will be inserted, and then we are using one object strategy to mark the row for insert or update, and based on that, it is updating in that SCD customer. Yeah. So when we execute it, so before execute, let us change something here in that SCD customer. Yeah. So let us see, this Mary Laurel currently is staying in state MD. So we want to change it to something called WC, and we'll see that how it goes, how it moves to that target database. Yeah. So currently, how the target database is looking like, SCD customer target, it is currently looking like this. Yeah, so Mary Laurel is currently staying in MD, okay, and it has got the start date for it is 1st January to 31st December. We have got a duplicate data over here, but yeah, that will not be a problem actually. So the 1st January to 31st of December, right? Now if we execute this particular workflow, so once we execute the workflow, it will be visible from here. So it's running, and we can check the session logs and the run properties from here. So once this is complete, it will show you that source and target statistics. It does not change yet, it's still executing. Yeah, so applied rows 2, as because we had 2 row where Mary Laurel actually featured. So now if we execute this target, I'm sorry, I should have done that activity. What is this customer target? Let us change another target actually. No, it will not work because we have got a duplicate data. I'm sorry, it will not work because we have got a duplicate data for this Mary Laurel. So I need to refine the logic actually there. So I'm moving this mat with staying in Baltimore. Yeah, let's do it for Hannah, and we are moving it to WI. Yeah. Yeah, so this has been done. Yeah, Hannah has been moved to WI. Then if we execute it again, oh, I'm sorry, I executed the wrong workflow actually. Yeah, so now actually if this Yeah, so total rows 10 and applied basically 2. So we have changed for 2 only, right? So now if we open up this target, yeah, so here you can see. So Hannah Mahmood, Hannah, who is basically staying in city of IN. See, the start date has been 1st January 90, and the end date is 20 May 15. That means yesterday. And Hannah's record has been changed from 21st May to the 31st December. That's basically end date that we provide till 1999. And the same is for Mary as well. It has changed for WC equals to for W state WC, and from 21st May. And earlier it was MD from 1st January. Okay, so and this is how basically in a simple and a very quick way we can implement the SCD solutions using Informatica. And then it's about this product sales summary table using incremental aggregation. So what is incremental aggregations? Right now, when we perform the data load here, there are two ways we can perform the aggregation. The first one is about the truncate load. We pull all the data from the source every time and perform the aggregation. So that is basically the time-consuming way of doing it. And then there is a way to extract the delta load from the source and perform the aggregation on that incremental part of it. So that is what we call the incremental aggregation. So Informatica has got a feature to perform incremental aggregations, provided some settings are performed in that the session level, and if that is done properly, it will be able to perform the incremental aggregation. And for incremental aggregation to implement, we make sure that we have that the facility of extracting the delta data. Yeah, so here we'll have this particular sales order incremental quantity, right? Now if we see order quantity here is 1, that is the unit price is 400, and I know that and then it has already performed this incremental aggregate. Then let me try other way. Truncate table. So I'm inserting a couple of data there. So now once this is done, once I'll see that select customer, select star from sales order quantity. Yeah, so currently we have got 2 orders. Order number 1 has got 2 orders, unit price 400. Order number 2 has got 2 orders. One is 3 quantity, unit price 500, and one is 5 quantity, unit price 200. So in the target table, what we'll have, select star from. So in the target table, we'll have the customer ID and the total revenue coming out of the customer. So now if we first time execute it, it will be giving you a fact. Yeah, I think this has been executed already. It's running. Yeah, so it has succeeded. And now if I open this particular table, select customer total revenue. So yeah, so for the customer ID, the total revenue came is basically 4,200, and for customer ID 1, it's 2,400, right? So this is evident, if we check that particular customer table, not the truncate, yeah, sales inquiry. Yeah, so customer ID 4,000. Customer ID is 800. Customer ID 1 is 800, and customer ID 2 is basically 15 and 10, 25. Right. So now if we change the order, suppose one customer actually changed the order and removed some of the order from it, right, from it customer bucket, right, and then we are truncating the table, and we are going to make sure that we have got that delta data available for load. So now it is the change data that I'm inserting over here, right? So now that after the customer 2 decided to change some order, this particular table becomes like, the same for customer 1, but for customer 2 it has got, reduced, it has reduced the 2 customer, it has reduced to 2 orders basically. So we'll have, the same thing for, the increase for thing for the customer 1, and for customer 2, 2 into 200 means 400 will be reduced, right? So now again, when we execute this incremental aggregation, so if we see, select star from total customer revenue, see it has got changed, right? So currently it is 3,800 and the 2,800. Yeah, so the main part of it is basically, these properties. So this incremental aggregation. So if we are going to perform this incremental aggregation, we'll have to use this incremental aggregation option. So just by using this incremental aggregation option, we'll be able to perform this activity. And then there are other options as well. We need to, for the first time, we need to use this reinitialize aggregate cache. So yeah, those things will be detailed covered, during the time of the course, right? Yeah, so yeah, I'm mostly done from that, the demonstration perspective, and now I'll answer a bit of the questions that you have been asking, right? So here I'm trying to put some job trends available from different websites and the different roles that people can carry out while be in the profession of either Informatica specialist, Informatica lead, Informatica architect, consultant. It starts from Informatica developer, where the freshers are inducted and trained in Informatica, and the people then keep on getting accumulating experience, and after that they in the mid-level they can perform the role of or a database specialist, senior ETL developer, designer, or you can be given a role for administrator as well. Then at the senior level you will be assigned the role for ETL architect, Informatica architect, either or the technical manager. Now, these are the different skill requirements currently available in the market. So Informatica PowerCenter has the lion's share of it. So most of the requirement coming out for the Informatica PowerCenter. But currently, Informatica data quality is, it's not mentioned over here. It's the Data Explorer that have been mentioned over. It's taken up from a bit of old version. So Data Explorer was mentioned, but the data quality is currently also getting, a lot of attraction these days. So that also has, kind of getting attraction. But as of now, if the market is analyzed, still the Informatica PowerCenter as a tool from Informatica side is the dominant part of it. Now, people are asking that what are the other skill requirements that to be the part of Informatica, right? As I said that we have as a prerequisite, we should be knowing the databases, a bit of database and the SQL queries. That will be fine. And these are the skills that are required in the job market when you are along with the Informatica. So your primary requirement will be Informatica ETL, and along with that, if you have understanding of PL SQL, Oracle, Unix shell scripting, SQL Server, business objects, any one of it, and in the any one of it, then it will be beneficial for you as well. So people having knowledge of PL SQL or Oracle, if they are learning Informatica, and so they have got a good chance to be inducted, the data warehousing development or the support or basically the data warehousing projects, right? And people having knowledge of Unix shell scripting are mostly preferred for administration related jobs in Informatica. Yeah. Yeah. Now, scope of this course. So this webinar we are conducting as a part, as a kind of a pre-class of a particular course. So if you go to the Edureka site, you will see that new course has been launched, where you will see that Informatica 9.x development and admin has been introduced over there, and you'll be able to see the curriculum over there as well. So I provided a brief overview of it, whereby you will get to know that what are the topics that will be covered during this particular course. So first one is that Informatica PowerCenter basics and the basic transformations, and then the advanced transformation like the Java, XML, and those things. And then we'll be covering installation and configurations as well, the PowerCenter administration and operational basics, troubleshooting and performance tuning, the best practices and methodology. An ample amount of lab will be provided, time will be provided to perform the lab, to make you acquainted with that ETL, the solutions. Yeah.